2020 was different, but I'm not going to dwell on it because, to be honest, I'm fucking bored of 2020. So, are we ready for 2021? Well, we're going to get ready. That's like the point of the video. Every year end, I think back about what I've done that year. If I've made enough progress in my life, if it was a good year, if there were some good feels, was I, on balance, happy? And the answer to all of the above is, it's fucking irrelevant, basically. I mean, it's relevant only to the extent that you can draw on it to influence how you conduct your shit in the future, because the arrow of time travels in one direction, my friends. So, the only damn question that matters is, how are we going to make next year as sick as possible? And also, how many times am I going to say sick in this video? I've been thinking about my priorities, and I want to split them into 4 main areas: humans, work, experiences, and learning. Obviously, there are other things that might not fit directly into one of these categories, but I'm simplifying shit because this is YouTube, and apparently I've got like 6 minutes before you turn the video off. Right, I'm going to run through each of these really quickly. Let's say like 30 seconds max for each. Humans. I reckon chilling with your mates and spending time with your family is like the single easiest and biggest return you can get, quality of life wise, you know, like overall sense of well-being. So after a year of social inactivity, I want to make an effort to increase the levels of human contact I experience. Apart from that, all my mates are having kids, and it's probably a lot of work to obtain an entirely new friend group, so I guess I'll just lean into it and become a wholesome as fuck uncle that's not actually an uncle. Obviously might still be limited by corona somewhat, but I'm going to just do what I can. Work. 2 main things work-wise. First, I want to grow this YouTube channel to the point where I can make good money just off the ad revenue so that I can rely less on sponsored integrations, because I don't mind doing them, but I just want to make a video about what the actual video is about and not really have to take 2 minutes to talk about a massage gun or some other shit, because depending on the video, it can actually detract from the point a bit. Second, I want to launch an app. It's under construction. I'll tell you about it in another video. Experiences. I want to do some sick adventures this year, and I know it might be limited, but I will do whatever I can within the realms of legality to make shit happen. If I have to pay for private tests, live in a fucking hazmat suit, I will do whatever it takes, god damn it. Also, it will be sick to do some more skiing, because who doesn't like skiing? It's just like the adult equivalent of running and sliding on your knees in Tesco. And maybe some other mad shit like another skydive, or just something along those lines to remind my brain that death is always nigh. Does nigh mean near? You know what I'm saying. Learning. Being on a bit of an investing / personal finance hype recently. I used to think that shit was boring, but then I realised how generally shit the financial situation is in terms of inflation, house prices, our fiscal policy, and the need to do what you can to make the most of the money that you have. Also, I want to learn the piano because I'm on a never-ending quest to convince myself that I'm not a peasant, and I feel like that's probably quite an aristocratic skill, if that's not a thing, is it? So that's me, those are my priorities for 2021, but I don't really just want to make a YouTube video talking about my own shit, because I'm not really sure how helpful that would be to you, the viewer, and regardless of views, likes, pleasant comments saying, Joe, you seem lovely, let's be friends, I do actually want these videos to in some way be able to aid and assist you in this game we call life. I also understand that we're not all in the complete same boat, and we can't all just be like, let's go Japan. So what I'm going to do is give you probably my top 3 tips / advices on how to have a sick as fuck 2021. Let's do it. Tip 1, get big forearms. Number 1, aim low. Not low, but like achievable. Brackets to begin with. So in previous years, I would have had a proper sick afternoon consuming excessive levels of coffee and writing down all this shit that I was going to do and actually believing it, getting proper enthusiastic and wrapped up in like how sick Joey D was going to be the following year. And then I would like proceed to just never do it all, you know what I mean? I'd do some of it, maybe sometimes most of it, never all of it, because I was writing down too much shit, mate, because I think if you've got too much stuff to focus on, you can't really do any individual thing effectively. I think that's pretty basic. You probably don't need me to tell you that, do you? But you know, I'm quite far into the video now, so I'm going to carry on. So, you know, there's also no downside to only committing to a few things to begin with, right? Let's say there's 3 main things you want to do next year, and you get to like May, June, and you've done them all. You've achieved your 3 goals, targets, whatever. You're not going to be sat there like, don't know what to do now. Wish I'd written more shit down, because now I've got to wait until next year before I can actually do anything. Like, you can just write more shit down, or you don't have to write stuff down. You can just decide to do more shit, right? It's not the be all and end all. It doesn't all have to like be planned out right now, right? You can just plan a bit, do a bit, plan a bit, do a bit. I think that's probably a much more manageable way to approach things. So that's number one. Number two, goals you can build on, because progress is the elixir that feeds enthusiasm in the hearts of men. Some people say that your goals should be clearly defined, and you're not supposed to say things like, I'm going to do this more, or I'm going to do this less, or I'm going to improve this, because it's somehow like too vague and there's no clear marker of when you've actually done it or not, right? But that's just complete self-improvement horse shit that's not going to make a blind bit of difference to anyone's life ever, right? So for example, you might say, I want to become more flexible, versus I want to become flexible enough to touch my toes or to do the splits, right? Because one's a bit vague and one's more clearly defined, so that's somehow supposed to be superior. I just don't believe that. I think the first one is fine, and I think furthermore a lot of your goals are going to be quite like the first one, because you need goals that you can build on, because life isn't just the sum of completely separate years, right? There's no reset button on December 31st, right? And so a lot of your goals are going to be like that, right? Take the piano for existence. Take the piano for example. I want to learn the piano, right? But you can't complete the piano. There's no like yes or no box. There's no like, you don't get that good and then it goes right, game over. You just get better forever. Like, that's how it is. And the same goes for work stuff, right? So I want to launch an app, but it's not just going to be like one and done. It's not like a merch drop. It's not going to be a hoodie, mate, that I'm just going to shift out and that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's going to be something that you launch and then you revise and you try and make better and you try and make better and you try and make better forever, mate. So just try and have some goals that you can build on. Number three, high hopes, low expectations. So when I think about it, this is probably the single most important shit I could ever say to another human being ever, right? And that might sound like a bit of an exaggeration, but I actually don't think it's too far from the truth. So this might sound a little bit depressing at first, but just hear me out, because it ain't like that. It is in fact the true fucking path to joy, my friends, right? Expect less. Now, the first thing to say is that there is a distinction between expectations and hopes. I'm not saying you shouldn't have high hopes. In fact, I'm saying you should. You should hope for everything, hope for the fucking world, hope for your wildest dreams to come true, and actively pursue them, right? If that's not too cheesy to say, it probably is too cheesy. Of course, be ambitious and be proactive about it. But the difference between hopes and expectations really lies in how the individual reacts if and when they don't come to fruition, right? As is often the case. Such is the nature of hopes and expectations, yeah? Because if your hope was true hope, then you can accept the disappointment of reality falling short matter-of-factly, simply as something that is, yeah? It's the way of the world, because you understand that hope and disappointment are two sides of the same coin, right? They are inseparable, mate. They are fucking woven into the fabric of the universe. Yeah, you can split the atom, but you cannot split hope and disappointment, right? Whereas if a person expects something to happen for them as if it is just part of their destiny, then that's when they feel personally aggrieved when shit doesn't pan out, right? As if it's some individual targeted attack from the heavens above you, as if Zeus himself is looking down going, nah mate, you ain't having that, right? So don't say have low expectations in order to somehow try and avoid disappointment, because, you know, everyone should probably feel their fair share of disappointment. Some of it's probably good for you, at least on some kind of developmental level, right? But I say have low expectations because when someone expects things to happen for them, then that really isn't too far away from feeling entitled to things, yeah? And entitlement, feeling entitled, will steal every scrap of appreciation and gratitude that you can muster, right? I don't feel entitled to your attention and your time right now, and that's why I try and make a video that isn't totally centered on like my own shit, and that some people might get some kind of like value from, right? Value is such an overused word, but you know what I'm saying, right? I don't feel entitled to a dreamy peanut butter and
banana bagel in the morning, right? And that is why every fucking bite is just filled with a deep sense of fucking yummy contentment, mate. It's a metaphor, but it's true as well, right? And I think if you can carry that attitude into 2021, then even a 2021 that is like slightly less shit than 2020 will feel like pretty fucking good, right? Because slightly less shit is good, paradoxically, though it may sound.
Sometimes life is good, sometimes life is shit, most of the time it's somewhere in between. Whether good stuff happens or bad stuff happens, don't take it personally because it really isn't personal. You're just a thing that exists pretty briefly like everything else, only you're actually blessed with the ability to know you exist and therefore feel the multitude of feels the universe inflicts randomly upon you. Ultimately, not much matters, not much lasts, so you might as well take a few calculated risks, try not to worry about shit, have some fun, be nice to yourself and other people, and make the most of your life. Or waste it, it's your choice really, or at least your illusion of choice, but that's another topic. Have a nice year.
Jordy Lenny is my hero.